This is another example of using Mohr circle to find the Imax and Imin. It involves, in the angle to Imax and Imin. It involves obviously the setup. It involves properly locating the X and Y axes and then determining the angle to the nearest principal. It's relatively straightforward. This is an S-shaped beam. It's 6 inches tall. The two legs are like 1.36 by 0.4 inches, 1.36 by 4 inches. And so to set up Mohr circle, we need Ix, the moment of inertia around the x-axis. We need the moment of inertia around the y, and we need Ixy. I'm not going to find them here. You can do that on your own. But again, if you can tell by looking at the shape that it's taller in the y direction, so you expect Ix to be larger. The area is closer to the y-axis, so you expect its Iy to be smaller. And the area lies in a diagonal that goes from quadrant 1 down to quadrant 3, so you expect its Ixy to be positive. And that indeed is what we found. So Ix is 15.7 inches to the fourth. Iy is 1.04 inches to the fourth. And Ixy is positive 2.68 inches to the fourth, as you expected. Once you have those three values, basically we can set up Mohr circle. And so we can calculate I average is 15.7 plus 1.04 divided by 2 is 8.39. And then the Ix minus Iy over 2 term is 15.7 minus 1.04 divided by 2, which is 7.35 inches to the fourth. With those two guys, we can find the radius, and the radius is 7.82 inches. So once you have those guys, we can set up Mohr circle. And so again, what I do is I just take a blank sheet of paper. I draw the circle first with nothing else. Because it's easier to me, it's easier to draw a circle on blank paper and then draw the horizontal line. So once you draw the circle, then draw the horizontal line, put the dot in the middle, draw the vertical line. So remember the horizontal line is the moment of inertia axis. So Ix, Iy, I average plot on that line. And then the vertical axis is the product of inertia axis. So we found our center to be I average, which is 8.39. We found our radius to be 7.82. So Imax is 8.39 plus 7.82, which is 16.2. Our Imin is 8.39 minus the radius, which is minus 7.82. So it's 0.57. So that gives us Imax and Imin. But now we want to plot our X face. And so our X value is 15.7. And the Ixy associated with that is a positive 2.68. So 15.7 plots just to the left of the max, and the positive 2.68 plots up. And so this point right here is our 15.7, 2.68 point, which corresponds to Ix and Ixy. Now we draw this line, and then this far side over here is our Iy negative Ixy. And so our Iy was 1.04, and our negative Ixy is the negative of the 2.68, and so that plots here. Once you plot the X face, then you can actually calculate this angle. And I just used the 2 theta p equation. So the 2 theta p equation is the inverse tangent of negative Ixy, so negative 2.68, divided by Ix minus Iy over 2, which we found to be 7.35. If you evaluate this tangent, you get 2 theta p is minus 20. And so remember, Mohr circle, 2 theta on Mohr circle corresponds to theta on the original area. And so this is 20 degrees, and it's negative, which basically means clockwise. And so the negative 20 takes me from X clockwise down to the nearest principal, which happens to be Imax. When you look at the original shape, if we start at the x-axis and go 10 degrees on the shape, that should be an Imax axis. And then 90 degrees from that should be an Imin axis. And that's basically what we would expect. The Imin looks like it's crossing through the most of the area. And so then you would expect that to be the Imin. And then the Imax is 90 degrees from that. And so basically we get a result that's consistent with what we expect. And so this is a valuable use of Mohr circle to find a theta p, to find Imax and Imin. And I like Mohr circle for this. It's pretty straightforward. The next example I'm going to work, we're going to set up Mohr circle and then find IU and IV at some arbitrary rotated angle. And frankly, I think that's easier with the equations than it is with Mohr circle. But we'll show you how to do it on Mohr circle. You should know how to do both. You should know how to do it with just the equations, and you should know how to do it with Mohr circle. But this application of Mohr circle, just finding Imax, Imin, and theta p, is pretty straightforward. It's valuable, and I think helpful.